Y'all somehow managed to misplace your doctor. Right when you needed him the most. Ain't that just the dag-nabbit of it all? Where you at, buddy? Are you over here by the things I already shot? This would be very convenient of you. I think he's by the things I shot already.
Watch out!
Oop. That's not good. That's not good. A euthanasia kit. It's just a gun. 400 DPS knockdown gun. Long gun. The euthanasia kit. What do you control like? Ooh. Ooh, you're my kind of gun. The kind I like. And he has like a almost respectable DPS. Oh. Wait, it's a shotgun, isn't it? It's a shotgun. Y'all need better gun categories. Dang it. Oh well. That's disappointing. That's a shotgun. Definitely hoping for my kind of gun. This guy. I saw 6 shots and I'm like, ooh. But nope. Machine guns, shotguns, and precision rifles are all the same category of weapon in this game, which is really confusing. Because like the game... Does the game even make any effort to like distinguish them from each other? Like this isn't called a shotgun. All you get at most is what brand made it. Like all the weapons I'm holding right now are long guns, and they don't specify further than that. And that's just fucking weird, because we've had a language set up for years now of like decades now for game guns specifically, of like, here's the pistol, here's the rifle, here's the automatic, the SMG, the shotgun, like the grenade launcher. So I get that they wanted to make skills that include X number of weapons together instead of having to have you specialize in 8 different weapons. But that doesn't mean that they had to also like they could just say that like, oh, this is your long gun skill. Your long gun skill includes shotguns, rifles, automatics, and so on. But then it could still call the guns a recognizable term, because they all function very differently but are called the same thing, and you just have to like use your pre-existing knowledge to kind of imply what they could mean, mostly by just trying the gun yourself or kind of judging based on its damage and clip size which one it is. Maybe it's just a really weird system.
Any luck out there?
I found your trauma kit. The medic is dead.
Oh, fuck. Well, that's better than nothing. Thanks. We'll head out as soon as we're patched up.
So these are your best people? And they're down to 4 people? Not a good sign. These guys are so armored. Are you 2 like scouts or something? Because you're remarkably less equipped looking. You also don't even have weapons. I don't know. Maybe the infamous twins are just super armored. Maybe because there are like the regular outlaws, and then there's the big dudes that come in that are like the tank elite units, the heavies. So maybe the twins are just 2 of those, and then they're just the only ones left, because it turns out it's really hard to kill that particular type of enemy. So they had 2 conflicts at the same time, and these bodies were everywhere, weren't they? There was 2 conflicts at the same time, and they could have chosen between the 2 of them separately, and had a better chance of having fewer deaths at each of them individually if they did them one at a time. But instead, he split their forces between the 2, just because he just was too impatient, it sounds like. Like, it sounds like he just wanted to get this one done because he was just too excited about it, and so he couldn't bring himself to, like, wait until... There's still the pile of corpses from when I was here before. Like, they had a conflict that they had to resolve, and he insisted on doing this at the same time. There is a plot hole here, just in the fact that it's an open world, and I already came here earlier, and I cleared out all the Raptidons, so all these iconoclasts that are dead don't really make sense. I cleared out all the Raptidons, then that group of 4 people and the medic all just kind of magically appeared suddenly when I started the quest. But they all supposedly got their asses kicked by the Raptidons that I already cleared out. Then you have the gap between gameplay and narrative, which is just the part where these guys are just not very hard to kill. So the threat's kind of neutered. Install rollers. There we go. That's all I had to do was walk in and click on a computer because I've already been here. That's really funny. I get flack sometimes for my sequence breaking or whatever, but like, all the games I'm doing it in are usually non-linear open world games, and it's like, I'm like a dastardly sequence breaker simply because I don't exclusively follow waypoints the entire playthrough. Like, I'll land in like, this is a landing spot that they let you go to, and then you just wander through, and like, oh yeah, here's a building, I'll check out this building. Ah yeah, here's the settlement. Like, it's a really logical, normal sequence of actions to take. I'm not like doing some crazy exploit shit. If anything, it's weird that they let you land here if it's going to fuck with the story. Like, they know that this place only makes sense if you go here first, and so they could have you land like here, or like land over here, and maybe this side of the river is like closed off. That's actually what they could have done. This side of the river could have been closed off until you got that quest, because I haven't had another reason to be over here yet. But instead, they're like, yeah, you can land in Cascadia if you want to. You can't cross this bridge. So they're using the exact same mechanic I'm talking about right here. Because, like, they don't want you to just start down here. So you can't cross this bridge, but you can land here. And so they let you go through this area, do this sequence out of order, kind of break the narrative of this particular quest, then discover all these places, then discover all these places. So, like, they were already guiding the player on what order they want them to go in certain places, except for where they weren't. It's really weird. Like, they really specifically locked up. They want you to start up here and go down this direction when it comes to this side of the map. But this side of the map, which also would benefit from some curation of what order to play it in, has no curation, and they present these 2 locations as equally valid places to land. And that's just a really strange thing. All they do is say that one's more dangerous, which is like, what? And are we supposed to think that that's like a disincentive? Oh no, a challenge in a video game. I better not go there. They said it might be challenging. I wouldn't want that. I better go to the really easy spot instead first. Which, once again, they're presented as a series of different landing spots. So, based on the fact that you were previously on Terra 2, you don't even know that they're going to be in the same map. Because in Terra 2, the different landing spots are different maps entirely, not different entry points to the same map. So, like, you can't even build off of prior experiences with this game, because we've never had multiple landing spots in one map before. They were always different landing spots that were actually completely different maps that were just set lore-wise on the same planet. Which was why their assets were the same, and you had the same basalt columns and all that.
If you'll just listen...
No, no more listening, no more preaching. We are losing people left and right. We need to act.
Enough, Zora. I'm not putting the torch to innocent people. Do you want to bring the board's cruisers and gunships down on us? Captain, apologies, but our situation grows dire. Our people talk of foolish endeavors. What news do you bring?
If there are gunships, they sure didn't stop me from landing here.
They are armed all the same. All they need is a good reason, and war is one such reason.
Is that what you're arguing about? Going to war with someone?
We're out of time. We need food and ammunition. We need to hit Stellar Bay while we still have the manpower to do it.
You want to attack the city?
Yes, I know it's drastic, but It's clear that Sanjar will never cooperate. And if it's him or us, I choose us.
Are they really doing better than you are?
Doubtful. But we don't need much, and Sanjar isn't going to share.
Sure, but that seems desperate.
It is. We are desperate. We're starving. My people are dying left and right.
I see. Listen, I've been to the printing press, it's clear.
Excellent.
Did you find the Vanois?
Yes, the Van Noys are on their way back.
Thank the Eternal.
We're one step closer to bringing the truth to every man, woman, and child in Halcyon. This plan's brilliance is in its subtlety. For the time being, let us cease our activities on the tower, lest we bring premature attention upon us. I have much to do, articles to write, sermons to ponder. We live in such an exciting time. Let's talk later.
Hey, I need to see to the wounded, but drop by the clinic when you can. I want a word.
So now you're gonna pause? You're in such a big hurry to do this that you actively got more people killed and further pushed the situation with Zora, where now she wants to go to war because you were so down to the wire. And now you're gonna hang out and wait. So you're not even in that much of a hurry. It's just irresponsible. So both of them have issues because she wants to go to active war and isn't even, like, we're not even approaching a diplomatic solution to the problem, like with for example with the threat of war or something. I guess she wants to have the surprise attack, but it's like, it's kind of a barbaric thing to do, to just go after these people. But he's just fucking stupid. Like, his plans about subverting the information scape and everything like that has like a thing to it, but like his moment-to-moment decisions are so completely broken, it seems.
Ah, Nyoka. My people miss your hunts. All right.
What's your story?
Before all this, I was a writer for MSI's product catalog. It was my purpose to spread awareness of Saltuna in its various forms. The certainty with which I spun among the other cogs in their machine stifled creativity and personal growth.
What made you see the eternal light?
That came much later, after Sanjar had taken over. As he drifted closer to the corporate regime, I drifted further from it. I'd known a little about philosophism on the fringes of society, and as I learned more, I found that I was already on the path without even knowing. The freedom it teaches is the same freedom that I desire. The icono...
From what I've seen, I have to agree. Anarchy would be better.
This is not anarchy. Society requires structure, Captain. It is just that the board's structure is killing the colony. Ours will not. Why have you come?
It's a weird final thing to say when I'm leaving a conversation. Once again, yeah, you have to repeat the intro to conversations over and over and over again to then say the follow-up thing that you want to say. Because you can't always just say all the options of just like... Obviously some options contradict each other, but there's plenty of times where it's like... Here's, like that one there... There was two comments you could just make in general about the board, and then there was two conflicting statements, one pro and one anti-anarchy. And so it makes sense for the pro and anti-anarchy to be a menu option you don't return to after saying one, because it's like a choice. But the other two are just the normal, like, go down the series of information plot point things. But I think because they included the first two in there, they then kick you back out. and you have to ask the same question of, tell me about the iconoclast. Then he tells the entire speech about the iconoclast that you skip through, and then you get to say the next thing, and then you have to do it again if you want to do the other option, and it's just like, I don't know. There's been a handful of conversations in this game where, like, they just don't quite work the way that most games in this genre work, including their own previous games I've played, so it's a little weird. I had to pick up on the fact that early on people were being like, you're missing a lot of dialogue because you're not asking the same questions over and over again. And I'm like, oh, weird. It's marked as red, but if you click on it, they then say the entire speech again, and then you can click on a new informational dialogue choice.
Hey, Captain. I need your help, and we ought to keep it hush-hush. You know about what happened here, right? The history of Amber Heights?
You're talking about the massacre. Back when the corps were pulling out, pirates raided the place and killed the MSI bigwigs living here.
Right. Common belief is that the pirates fled to an old relay station that had already been abandoned, but nobody could find them. The station's locked up, but one of my people found an old data cartridge in a nearby rat nest. It's mostly corrupted, but I pulled a couple codes off of it. One is the code to the Amber Heights gate. I don't recognize the other, but it's similar. I bet it opens a door.
A random door code doesn't sound useful.
I know it's a long shot, but if we miss something there, if you can get into that station, maybe we can get some answers.
The Amber Heights gate?
Right. The access codes to Amber Heights. What gets me is, if this belonged to the pirates, that means they knew someone there. If someone gave them the gate code, all those deaths, Captain, all that blood is on their hands.
Why are we keeping this to ourselves?
Graham isn't fond of talking about the history here. He had friends who worked here. The massacre hit him pretty hard. You know him. Live and let live and all that. I don't want to burden him right now, especially if this ends up being a dead end.
I don't get what's so important about this. Don't you have bigger problems?
I surely do. But it's not far, and if they died in there, they died with their munitions. We'll need them. Besides, if it's filled with valuables from the aristocrats who lived here, we can pawn them off on Sublight and get ourselves ahead on our food budget.
Okay, go to the relay station, see if the code's useful. Anything else?
Just a warning. The area's infested with mantisaurs. I'd send some help, but we're, preparing for war.
Right, I'm on it.
Appreciate it. Here's the code. If it works, bring back anything you find. Supplies are best, but information's good too. If someone was behind the Amber Heights massacre, it'd give a lot of people around here some closure to find out who and string them up. Good luck. Watch out for the Taros.
That's a good example of what I was talking about. She has an opening statement. That opening statement is full of a bunch of keywords. Then I can ask her about each of the keywords she brought up, and then a few follow-up questions, all within one menu. But then other times, there's very, functionally it seems like the same type of conversation, but it kicks you out every time you ask something, and you have to worm your way back in and skip through a bunch of dialogue to get there. And it often doesn't feel like it's a different conversation, so it's weird.
May the eternal truth guide you.
Alright. She wants me to go to a station. Things are boiling over a bit, so this really does seem like the time to follow up on the old guy at the bar's quest and also my new companion's quest, because things are getting climactic a little bit over here. Little memento. Alright, Ash. Really is way the hell down there, huh? Alright. We'll see how it goes. I'm wondering if there's any kind of diplomatic solution that can be found.
South here, off off the road and down this slope. We've got a decent trek ahead of us.
Oh, right, the main story, which I'm neglecting, as always. Whoop. Rude. My power level has increased significantly since I arrived here. Like, holy crap. I was having some trouble, but I mean, the main thing is I just had to pick up a gun from this planet, and then you're pretty much caught up with the curve. The thing about having progression built around the mechanics of the individual location you're at is like you could just pick up the guns there, and then you're that good. Are you... Hello, sir. Can we talk from across here?
Just wonderful. Someone's destroyed the damned bridge.
You guys had a bad time. Weston Sloan. Hey! Hey! I don't think I can talk to him from here. I just feel like in real life I might shout across towards them a little bit. Alright. Good thing I saved. This is why you do that. Just thought I might try a little parkour. There's just enough rubble pointing out there that I was like, maybe you could make that jump. I mean, yeah, I could make that jump. But completely solid ground, completely not solid ground, very abruptly.
This is new. Way the edges are burnt. I guess people did this, not the wilds.
The way the edges are burnt, I guess. It really does. Wow. Yeah, it really transitions from completely, totally fine bridge to devastated bridge in 1 inch.
Take cover.
Well. Ledges are dangerous in video games. They're the most dangerous thing of all. Have I died to falling damage before in this game? I don't remember. I've definitely taken some falling damage, but I don't think I've been killed by it yet. Alright, so they want me to go down here. Because there's a side path over here. Come at me. I'm not convinced anything you're gonna throw at me is that dangerous, so let's do this. Look, marauders. Headshot. Crouch. Ooh. You didn't like that. Ow. Surprisingly, my allies do feel equally competent. You give them a decently damaging weapon and their aim bots will take over and they'll pretty much just do what you're doing. Just mow people down. I'm kind of used to companions feeling like they're doing like some tiny fraction of what the protagonist is capable of doing in damage. And like every now and then you'll be surprised by somebody dying and you didn't do it. Whereas in this game, yeah, like half the dudes I encounter actually do die. There's Fallbrook. One of the places I want to follow up on, but I think I just want to see if I can get the waypoint.
There if you need a drink. We're only halfway to the mountain, so might consider stopping in.
Can I have the waypoint? Oh, there. Oh, I already had it. Cut it. I want to finish what I'm doing right now first. But good to pick that up. It's one of the places along the way we've been hearing about repeatedly that I need to stop in on. It is funny that she's briefing me about this trip we're going on, and I'm not actually interested in going on that trip right now.
Hey, never anger a man of the cloth.
To shreds, you say?
To shreds, you say?
Libations on me, folks.
That's actually funny. It's a really specific reference, but it's funny. I appreciate that one of them is so completely self-important. I can never grow man of the cloth. How dare you cross my path? Me, the god of my own religion. Like, he's completely... I don't know. That's just... self-important is just the word that would cross my mind for everything he says, basically. This arbiter of ideology. Then she's just like, I'm here to shoot, make money, and drink. And so all she does is scream. So the contrast between their two lines is pretty great. Is that a place I should be checking out? Or is it just a shit?
Look northwest. That ain't it, but marauders sometimes camp inside the buildings there. Steer clear unless you fancy getting shot.
Yay!
Westbound still. I'll let you know when we can start ascending.
Somebody kill me, please. That's not a marauder. That's a monster. I really hope that that works. Okay, cool, it worked. Because that line of sight didn't work. Woo! Oh no. They're flanking. Who taught them how to flank? Okay, revive, guys.
I've had quite enough of you.
You're not even close to that guy. Wow, that range. I wasn't taking damage, but if I knew that if I healed, they'd revive. Wow, do you do AoE damage with that? Weren't there several enemies left when that happened? Herpetophobia. After too many encounters with manta pillars and mantisaurs, you're not quite yourself when any of the manta family of creatures are attacking your party. Wow. Phobic. Lose 1 dexterity, perception, and temperament. Alright, come at me. It's not a great idea, but fuck it. I'll take these and I'll canonically take on this series of increasingly dangerous perks to see if, or flaws to see if they make the game interestingly challenging. Unless they're completely egregious, like the one that was like, you just suck now, that I saw earlier. I'll like generally just take them and just go with it. Whenever I crit, I might reset a companion ability. That's pretty good. Vendors buy stuff for more, giving me more money. Companions have more crit chance. Oh yeah, is it my crit or their crit? Whenever you crit. More dilation meter, even though I don't really use it that much. It's actually kind of remarkable how I don't really use the time dilation very much, and it's like a core mechanic. My gun's just so strong, and dilating time with it doesn't feel very powerful. It felt cool when I had a rifle that shot one at a time. It's like, let's line up this headshot and really capitalize on it. But now that I've got this gun, and it's just so clearly better, it's kind of a bummer. Doesn't say how long that lasts for. I guess just making my armor better across the board doesn't hurt. These are a fun idea, these flaws. I'm not sure if they always make that much sense, but they're a fun idea. You promised me marauders, and instead I got attacked by a really big bad group of mantis. Now I've got a phobia. Look what you did, you gave it anxiety. Communication substation, enter code. Oh. I'm accidentally doing the other quest. Alright, let's just go ahead and select that real quick. Yep. Didn't mean to do that, but okay. Called sucker bait, which doesn't really sound very promising for the efficacy of the thing. There's no resources lost in this, They use every part of the animal when it comes to this level design. They've got a really big area, and every single chunk of it has a quest going on. So if I go and investigate a place just for the hell of it, whoops! Suddenly I'm getting progress. Hemlock's eye patch. The substation's been decommissioned following the closure of work order UDL 211. Communications functionality has been disabled. Logs and messages have been archived. Work order 211 status report 1. Recording engineer Walkowitz, I guess. Tunnels are in. Cables are laid. Devil's Peak is receiving, but we're waiting on signal confirmation from the outposts. This whole pack stinks of sulfur. We should have brought masks. I'm sure I heard something in the caverns beneath the tower. Something's living there. Here's hoping we don't unsettle it, or else that place ain't gonna be safe for our cable guys. We got a signal from Amber Heights, Stellar Bay and Cascadia. Still waiting on a word from Bayside Terrace and Aurora Ridge. I had a note I was right about those caverns. They ain't safe. Some kinda... hell, I don't know. A big thing with claws. I ain't an animal scientist. Can't wait to get the hell out of this rock. Closure of that work order. Work order's been completed. The substation will now be disabled and closed off. It should be noted that the lead engineer, Franklin Walkowitz, has perished due to a workspace accident involving hostile wildlife in Devil's Peak Caverns. It should further be noted that Mr. Walkowitz's complaints regarding the dangers of Terra 1 wildlife have been redacted. Jesus Christ. It's like the Chinese government with the coronavirus, specifically the coronavirus, where the specific doctor that was trying to blow the whistle on how big the mess was and how much danger everyone was in was accused of spreading lies and was being punished. And then he died of the exact disease that he was trying to warn everyone about. And this person's talking about all the dangers here, and they're redacting all the information about said dangers, even though he died of those dangers. Halcyon referendum 207 Terra 1 hazard clause. Halcyon Holdings corporate board. Public notice 117 on the issuing of hazard. That's the same message we read before, I believe. Manual log entry. Gonna die for this damn fool errand, I know it. He said Amber Heights was gonna have more bits than we can spend, but those suited morons up and spent it all for us. Books and vases and pretty shit. You can't eat a fucking book. Look at us now. Of all the closets to coop up in and lick our wounds, we had to choose the one that's set up to lock itself up. Feel like a marauder, digging at the walls like this, but we gotta get out before we starve. It ain't possible, but Nelson over there is trying to keep our spirits up, and I don't got the energy to fight him on it. Screw that Bryant fella. Eyes bigger than his fucking stomach. They got locked in here. That's why this panel's off. They're trying to figure out if they could get out the walls. And because they didn't have the codes, they just couldn't escape. That's a hell of a way to go. Assault Rifle Ultra. Am I using one of those already? Yeah, I've got one of those. Damn. Here, I'd like to give you some numbers. There you go. Enjoy. You guys get to stick around because you're shiny. Alright, that'll give me a little ability to move around a bit. Might avoid turning that in for a bit, because they were gearing up to war. Which might be like a region-changing kind of plot point. It escalated quickly, by the way. Like only a couple quests and they're already up to that point. So you don't get a lot of sense of like what the iconoclasts are in a status quo situation. Just when they're on the edge. Because they've apparently been there for like, what, 10 years? Abandoned safe house discovered. How abandoned is it? Curious what keeps all the signs powered. If no one's around. What is that? Oh, it's a crashed ship. Electronic log. Someone left a ledger with a list of names, likely members of the unit that used this outpost. Some names, like Lamont and Delilah, are at the top of the list. Some names are crossed off, only to be added later, as if that person left and rejoined. Of peculiar note is the name Ash. Is nowhere to be found. So is he lying about his name? Or is he lying about his membership? Primary drive has been corrupted. Access is limited to the most recent 2 messages recorded. From Delilah. A. PJ says you bought tickets for both of us. You didn't have to do that. I owe you. I don't know that I'll ever be able to pay you back, but thank you. From Lamont. D. Don't mention it. I'm attaching cords to the for the waterfall camp. Grab your gear and meet us there by sunup. We're finally getting off this hellhole. He thought they were all going to be dead, but it sounds like they left. And that's nice and nearby. Kind of wonder whether or not...
I call this Rotting River, on account of all the dead things I've thrown in it over the years. It'll take you into the Devil's Peak Caverns if you follow it under the bridge. That's one option. Others the slope up. If you're up for some fun, let's chat. What's up?
You mentioned a more fun way up the mountain?
Right. We can take the caverns up, but if you ain't into spelunking, there's a path a little ways north. I'd warn you, it'll be a tough trek. Big bad's up on that hill. I'm game to hunt them if you are, but it'd be safer to stick to the caverns. What's up?
I'm sure you've got all manner of hunting stories. Tell me one.
I took a job once to clear out a rat nest. Partnered up with a fellow out of Fallbrook who called himself Dirty Don. Bit on the shorter side. Had a penchant for cards. Thing is, he introduces himself and the man is immaculate. Clean. He had a flowery presence to him, a pleasantness that didn't invade your space. He was just there, and you were glad for it.
So why was he called Dirty Don?
When we set out to hunt down the Raptidons, I found out firsthand where his nickname came from. Dirty Don killed those Raptidons with his bare hands. His bare fucking hands, Captain. He was a whirlwind of grotesque primal fury. In the end, he stood drenched in blood over the entrails of a dozen raps. If he had a scratch on him, I wouldn't have been able to tell. It was glorious.
What happened to him? Is he still out here, tearing up the wildlife?
Day came when he tried to take on a mantiqueen. Got himself eaten one limb at a time. Wonder if he tasted like soap. Oh well, live and learn. No matter how tough you are, if you're gonna fight something bigger than you, bring a firearm.
Raptidons are bigger than people. Like, every single Raptidon is bigger than every single person, basically. I don't know how the hell he would... Don't Raptidons spit acid? Like, how is he doing that? I have many a question. Oh, hi. What is that sound?
And that's how it's done, Captain.
That sounds like a chainsaw. That was different. Aren't they cute? Oh, between the textures or the hitboxes. Gotta loop back around. There seems to be a river that's closing off most ways through here. It's abandoned, but not that abandoned. There's sprats on the line. Ah, we gotta go past these guys anyway. Oh yeah, you're not gonna be people. When I say you're not going to be people, I mean, like, they're not going to be, like, characters you can interact with. I guess this is a form of interaction. Gotta keep that supply of, weapon repair parts coming. Don't necessarily have to say ammo. Still well over 1,000 of those left. That's a bad time. The remains of these bones show the telltale signs of a mantisaur attack. Powerful jaws have crushed the skulls, while weathering on some of the fragments suggests passage through some beast's digestive tract. Amongst the dirt, you find a small lockbox that matches the description given by Ash. Oh, so they did die. That's a lot of bodies. Is the idea that this is where a mantisaur just sort of takes the bodies of the people it captures? But then it's like, it's a weird clash of like, okay, you got an entire sprat body with no gore. You got one terror ray and one cannon, just for diversity's sake. But then like 6 people, all of which are fully dressed and fully armored with no missing limbs, even though we've seen missing limbs in this game before. Like, I saw those guys, the guy with no legs, the iconoclast with no legs in the printing press. Then just one fucking pristine, stripped of all flesh skull. I don't know. Goddamn, I'm this overweight, huh? I really gotta clean out my consumables, I guess. I might just spam sell them all. As tempting as it is to hold on to things in case of specific situations, like, maybe I need one perception or do this dialogue choice or something. So I've gotten this far without really needing a consumable a single time. So maybe I should just give up and just sell my entire consumables tab just so that I can reset my weight, because it's getting so heavy that I can only carry a couple weapons at a time. And I shouldn't have to like make a permanent upgrade to my character to increase their weight capacity instead of a perk somewhere else, just because I'm holding on to so many consumables and probably mods. Definitely a let's play problem though. It's just the part where I don't want to sit there and painstakingly look over every single item in my inventory because there's just so many. Look at this screen. Then look at this screen. Oh my god. And I don't know what I can't recognize any of those visually, so I have to check what each of them is one by one. So you try to do it between episodes, but then you're busy, so you maybe don't get around to it, and da-da-da-da. Whereas I remember playing Fallout 3 in New Vegas when I was younger, and not recording, and I would just stop.
This factory offers the loveliest aromas, like if you cooked forest over a sulfur pit.
Back then it was just part of the regular cycle. You finish a quest, you go to town, and you just kind of agonize over some inventory stuff for a while, and it wasn't really a problem because you weren't trying to make content. Guys. Hi. Hawk. Can we have a chat? Or do I get shot immediately?
Watch out!
Okay. That's good to know. There's not even like you're halt. You're not supposed to come in here. It's just immediately shooting. Oopsie. Alright, well they're a reputation faction. So at some point there's a way to interact with these people? Oh wait, is this the front door? Are you gonna shoot me too? It doesn't say restricted access. This is off-putting. It's like the first time I've seen these things operating as intended. Sealed. Alright, well I've got the fast travel spot, I suppose. That's something. Let's go back to Amber Heights. I don't want to hand in the intel yet, but I do want to talk to Ash. Then we can follow up on Naoka.
All I'm saying is it ain't worth it. It's gonna taste like sulfur all the same.
I'm drinking here. Move yourself on. Nothing on this moon for nobody. There's a lot of heartbreak.
So I'm wondering if that was that an intentional murder? Like, oh yeah, here's the spot to go pick up your whatever, the coordinates, and they just like pointed them at a mantisaur nest to kill them off. I found Lamont's body.
You know, a tiny part, a damn stupid part of me hoped he was still out there. What happened?
They bought themselves a ticket off World, but they were attacked while waiting for it.
Damn. Well, you find our box of memories?
Yeah. Thing is, I found a list of agents in that outpost. You aren't on it.
Well, ain't you clever? Fine. I was supposed to pick him up that night. Thing is, another offer came along. Bit more lucrative.
I Let me guess, that's not a box of memories.
Surely ain't. But it'll buy me some better ones. Look, I like your gumption. I was gonna share the bits, but here's a couple extra. Now go on. Even old Mantis passed.
Alright, I'm going. Well, suitably cynical endpoint to that particular storyline. Where we're going, Nyoka? Roughly near the Borst factory again. So we got our answer. He took a contract to pick those people up. He was never a member of their organization at all. But then he,
The caves back east are safest. We can head up this path if you want to shoot your way through a few nightmares on your way up.
I've lost track of whether you're talking about your quest or the quest at this point. Hi! Just kind of wandered in here on accident.
I smite you in the name of the law.
Law! Just coming at me with that full Judge Dredd force. What does that sound? Oh, it's probably their cooldowns replenishing. Yeah, no, she's talking to me about the main quest.
Clear the sulfur-sodden fucks out so Hayes can rest in peace.
She's talking to me about the main quest while I'm in the process of pursuing her side quest, because they're closely distributed. Whoop!
I've had quite enough of you.
Take that, big guy, and jump and boop.
To shreds, you say?
To shreds, you say?
Our survival.
Damn, that's a chunk of experience. Right, I never followed up on that, but as far as I'm aware, that's a reference to Futurama. But they definitely changed the tone in a fitting way. Huh. They've been buried here. Buried near the surface of Hayes' grave was a small lockbox. Its hinges rusted through and its wood almost completely rotted. It nearly falls apart in your hands, but you manage to find a tarnished silver medallion bearing the letters Charon. Sharon? Chiron? I think it's just Sharon.
Hayes was the best self-sacrificing son of a saint I ever met. Halcyon is worse off without him. Now, if we're gonna lure the Manta Queen out, we'll need to find Rebecca and Anders. They took a UDL contract on Terra 2. We never heard from them again. Think it's time I call in a favor with Hiram. If anyone can track them down, it's him.
Hold on, tell me about the UDL contract.
I don't know much about it. It paid well, so they took it. They said they'd be back in a couple of weeks and that maybe we could all use the money to get off Monarch. That was a long time ago.
You didn't try to find them?
I should have. I really should have. But soon after they left, Hayes and the others died. And to be honest, after him, I stopped trying. Because it hurt like hell to do so.
For what it's worth, I'm glad you're trying to confront it.
Thanks. I'm still not convinced I won't come to regret it, but we've started down this path. Might as well see it through. Maybe it'll stop me screaming at night. Now come on, let's make tracks before Hiram dies of old age.
I think it'll be fitting to pursue these two quests in conjunction with one another, one of them being subverted and being a lot nastier in its final outcome. But this one, presumably, is going to remain sincere.